So we got a question about dog food that came in, so we're going to give Dave over at Nutrena a call to get the answer.
Sarah asked, what is the best type of dog food to feed your dog?
Yeah, so there are a lot of things to consider. Of course, I would say always consider the dog first, his needs, his activity levels, age, but you also have to take into account your budget. We have dog foods in the market ranging from the grocery store level of, $12, $13, $14 for 50 pounds up to, $60 for a 28-pound bag of your big grain-free name brands. So you definitely want to know what your budget is. And then think about your dog. Is it a house dog? Is it, just your lap dog that hangs out and, lays on your lap while you're watching TV? Is it a working dog? Is it a show dog? Because there's different protein levels and fat levels in all dog foods. So, if your dog is essentially a house dog, or maybe you might even say lazy, lower fat, lower protein. If they're super active, working, hunting dogs, things like that, of course, you want to get a little higher protein, a little higher fat to help support the amount of energy that they're expending. And then there's the big, what we call it, in the marketplace right now, the big fad of making sure you're grain-free. That's not necessarily always important. Depends on your dog.
Okay.
Think of like people with gluten intolerance or gluten allergy, right? Well, dogs are the same way. There is such a thing as a grain allergy, but probably less than 10% of the dogs, maybe even less than that, just like people with gluten intolerance is a pretty lower percentage of the actual population. So do you really need to spend that $60, for example, on a small bag of grain-free? Things you might check for, this is a little gross, but think about your dog's bowel movements. Are they changing? The consistency?
I'm always thinking about that, Dave.
Me too. I think about it daily. But, it does matter, because if there's an issue or if you've seen a change, maybe there's something you need to consider. Maybe your dog is allergic to something in the feed. It might not be the grain. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe chicken doesn't agree with it. Maybe you should try lamb and rice. But if they are truly allergic, you're going to see things like the dog's lethargic, definitely be itchy, and not just like scratching around his collar or fleas, but his entire body's going to be kind of dry, itchy, those kind of things. But really, to know for sure, that would be get with your vet, have a blood test done, those kind of things. But most dogs really aren't allergic.
Gotcha.
But, if you see those kind of things like that, it'd be a good idea to look into it a little deeper. The easiest thing before you go to your vet is to try gradually changing the food.
Okay.
If you're on a grain-free, if you're not on a grain-free, maybe try going to a natural, which is like essentially no corn, no wheat, no soy.
Okay.
Before you go all the way up to an official grain-free. The naturals are great, but a little less expensive than the grain-frees. But again, it has to do with your dog and your budget. If your dog's doing great on the grocery store brand, doesn't have any issues, he's active, he's happy, he's healthy, then I say that's the old if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Gotcha.
Right? If your dog's happy, there's no need. But if you're noticing something, then certainly think about looking at a little higher quality and work your way up slowly, changing food slowly over the course of, a week to 10 days.